Well, what a magnificent arena this is, even with the roof on. We are so lucky to have been allowed a couple of minutes here to talk through the key statistics of the day for the matches here on Centre Court. Closed roof or open roof, the thoughts of Craig O'Shaughnessy are always absolutely valid and fascinating to hear. So, Craig, the first big star we'll see is Agnieska Radwanska, and some people feel that she's incredibly unorthodox, but she's still a brilliant player.
I love her game. I love the way she plays. I like the different styles. When you go and play a match, there's two main ways to get to the finish line. You can step on the court and say, I'm going out and I'm going to play great today. That's my goal. There's another way. You can say, I'm going to go out and I'm going to help my opponent put their hand on the self-destruct button. And that's what Radwanska does so well. And every opponent you play, their hand is on the self-destruct button at some stage in a match. And you can facilitate that. So here's a couple of examples. Back in Montreal in 2014, she won the semis against Ekaterina Makarova. She'd lost the last two matches against her. Makarova, great backhands in that match, 16 winners, only 18 backhand errors. Those are very good numbers. On the forehand side, Makarova had 9 forehand errors, but 33 forehand errors. So what you're seeing here is that Radwanska found the opportunity to let the opponent beat herself with all of those forehand errors. In the final against Venus, Radwanska only hits 12 winners, Venus hits 25, but Venus has 41 unforced errors. So she's extremely good at figuring the opponent out, getting her mind on the other side of the court and helping the opponent hit the self-destruct button.
Well, it'll be a really tough job for Kozlova, and going forward to the second match on centre, we know all about how amazing Novak Djokovic is. He's going for his 5th consecutive Grand Slam. He wants to do the calendar. He's already got the non-calendar slam. What about Mannarino?
Very crafty player. When you watch him, he's a little unorthodox as well. The backswing is not big and it's not extravagant. He's a very minimalistic kind of player on the court. The service motion is, there's nothing big there. He puts the ball in play. He's a very crafty lefty. 2015 US Open, he had Andy Murray down 2-0, and Murray just had no idea what to do against him. What you've got to do against Mannarino is attack the forehand more. In the opening round, he had basically twice the amount of forced errors on the forehand side than the backhand. The backhand, it's a little bit like Fognini's, where it just goes back. It hardly seems like there's any backswing, and he blocks it, so it's very difficult to rush it. We know that Djokovic practiced with a lefty to get ready for this. I think it was Mueller that he hit with. So Djokovic will be ready for this, but you don't want to attack the backhand. Going to Mannarino's backhand a lot is not really the right way to play him, more to the forehand.
It is interesting that these world-class players do focus so specifically when they come up against a lefty, because remember a few years ago, I think it may have been even the year when Murray won Wimbledon, he hadn't played a left-hander all the way through the season leading up to Wimbledon, and he lost the first 2 sets against Verdasco and really had to dig himself out of a hole. So it's not as easy, even for players of Djokovic and Murray's caliber, to play lefties, is it?
It's a compliment, but we call them a crafty lefty or a dirty lefty. And, I'm a lefty myself. And if somebody says that about your game, it's a real compliment, because you're using the spin effectively on the serve. You're hooking the ball cross court and creating angles that righties don't normally see.
Right then, third match on. Every neutral, every romantic in any sport is going to want Willis to do the number on Roger Federer. And of course, we are excited from a British perspective, but we have a lot of people watching live at Wimbledon from all around the world. And this is a global story. It's so amazing and so unlikely. Put yourself in Marcus Willis's corner. What do you say to him in the last half hour before he comes out here? Before he comes out on one of the world's great tennis arenas to try and take down the man who's made this place his own?
Yeah. There's a movie that I love to watch. I've watched it dozens of times, called Riding Giants. And in there's a surfer, Greg Knoll, and he's about ready to surf the biggest wave in history. There's these, it's out in Hawaii and these big hurricanes. And he describes, he goes, I had to take myself out of the lineup and stay on the side of the waves and just talk to myself and talk myself into it. And basically he says, you know, today's as good a day as any to go and die. And he had to take that time to mentally prepare himself for this enormous task. Well, you know, if I'm Marcus Willis, I remove myself from the locker room for the last 30 minutes and I find a really quiet place and I get at peace with myself, because the nerves can be racing, the butterflies can be going, you can be thinking so much of all the different things. You want to calm down, and as much as possible as you want to enjoy the moment, you want to treat this as any other match, and you've got to be true to what got you here. So he's won 7 matches. His game style is very aggressive. When he beat Berankis, the serve and volley game was there. He served and volleyed 46 times. He won 30, 65%. That's fantastic. He won 55% approaching, came in 40 times. Baseline play, 48%. So, you know, think of it. Federer's not going to want to play a lefty. He's not going to want to play someone who serves and volleys. Stojkovski beat him on this court here by serving and volleying 100% of all first serves a couple of years ago. 85% went to the backhand on the first serve. So that's going to happen today against Marcus Willis. So as much as, you know, you think he has no chance, I really think there is an opportunity. The tool set required to win this match, he basically has.
It's the memory of a lifetime for him, isn't it? And you've touched on the phrase enjoying it. And isn't that the key for Willis today? Bearing in mind he has captured the imagination of the public, and Federer will be in a position where he doesn't have 100% of the crowd support because there'll be a lot of Brits in here. Has he just got to say to himself, go out, open your eyes, embrace it all and enjoy it?
Exactly. I'm pretty good friends with Bobby Reynolds, who played Djokovic on this court a few years ago. And that's exactly what he said. It's like, I'm never going to get this opportunity again. It's the best court in the world. It's the #1 player in the world. So it's about embracing it. It's about being relaxed. We saw all the fans for Marcus on the side of the court against Berankis that kept him loose and kept him relaxed. And, you know, he's got to walk that tightrope. You don't want to go and just enjoy it and go out there and put up, you know, a pretty decent effort, and it's pretty routine and straight sets. I mean, he's got to go out there and say, I am going to beat Roger Federer today. And if he can drill that into his mind, I mean, Agassi's book, Agassi talks so many times about, I won so many matches in the shower, you know, the morning before, because he gets in there and he has this conversation with himself. So Marcus is probably doing that right now in the lead up to this match.
Well, we really hope so, because it's going to be a great occasion. Rain or no rain, this is one of the finest places in the world to watch tennis. What a day it's going to be on centre court.